Okay, this is Creole Ken. I'm doing a video review. This is a Husqvarna um, Mauser. That's a Model 98 large ring. This is the, what do you call it, the commercial sporterize. You can tell because you don't have the thumb notch out. And also, if you look here, there's no charging clip like for rounds. This is one of my favorite. I call it my Swedish girlfriend. I bought this gun, man, I want to say around 2002. If I tell you how much I paid for it, you probably wouldn't believe it. But I think I got this thing for about $190. The stock that was on it was wood. It didn't really fit me. I had a big problem with that stock. So I bought the Hoog overmold stock. It's got like some type of texture here at the pistol deal, and also the front forearm. This rifle comes with they call peep sights. This is, I believe, it's a Lyman 417 model. I have to double check. 417, 418. So I think it's Lyman. It makes these. It has the typical military style flag safety. So that locks the firing pin but allows you to open action. All the way to the far right, pretty much locks the bolt. You can't do nothing. To fire it, excuse me, you go all the way completely to the left. Just like a regular, military Germanmauser 98 type of safety. This action here was all Cerakoted. The guy that did it was out of Fort Lauderdale. The gynecologist was the gunsmith that did this work. This is chambered in a 30-06. Let me see if I can show you where it's marked out on the barrel. I don't have enough light here, but this is commercial. It's 30-06. I have not put the front globe sight back in because I was playing around doing some stuff here. I've hunted with this rifle maybe a dozen times. I've taken a small doe with this, and I killed maybe 2 hogs with this, maybe 4 hogs, I think. It's pretty accurate. I limit my shots to about 100 yards with peep sights. Accuracy wise, I've shot this thing out to 300 yards, 400 yards. Only problem with going past 300 yards, you have to do considerable amount of quote elevation changes to get the bullet drop starts becoming a big issue when you get past 300 yards. You got to remember, 30-06 150 grain bullet. At about 300 yards, that bullet has already dropped about a foot, maybe 13 to 14 inches. If you're shooting way past 300 yards, that bullet typically they're going to hit dirt. The crown on this muzzle is okay, it's fair. The Cerakoting has held up for quite a few years. I think it's been Cerakoted for about 20 years now, give or take. This is the factory trigger. I did not change nothing on this trigger, or whatever came with Husqvarna was what we left. Pretty much I have never done any kind of work on this rifle other than just recently I had my my local Cerakoter. He micro slicked this what do you call it, this bolt body, because I'm kind of lazy with taking it out and lubing it up. I was getting a little bit of surface rust, so I figured this year I'll try to put this micro slick. It's like a low thin coating, the semi lubricant qualities, scratch resistance, etc. I also want to show you something down here. You can see the cocking piece sear notch or groove. I hope that comes out there. This is a pretty good weapon. I really love it. The bore on this thing is relatively good condition. The weapon is also, light. You gotta remember, there's no scope on this thing, so it's pretty light. Recoil with 180 grain bullets is going to be kind of harsh, but if you're adult male, you can handle it. And because these are commercial actions, they are tapped from the factory. I can put a scope on there, but I've always said with this one, I'm gonna leave it unscoped, just to make it simpler to use. Don't worry about deals. Back on peep sights. People don't understand what a peep sight. Let me see if I can get my camera up in there. Maybe not be able to get a good picture. That little small aperture, if you could look up in there, that little aperture. If you were in a low light setting, that aperture becomes a problem. And let me explain here. I hunted in the woods with a dense canopy, and what I found was I could not take reasonable, confident shots because this aperture was not letting enough light in on the back of the eye. And that's just something I noticed while hunting with peep sights. A scope obviously brings more light to the pupil, allows you to see more clearly the front post. Also, even though the front globe is out, because I'm still doing some work here, trying to figure out what I'm going to do, the front globe, when you're going past 300 yards, the front post becomes wider than the target. So I took this out to a place out there in just south of Orlando near Kissimmee. It was a range that had about 500, 800, 900 yard range. At 500 yards, I was shooting a 3 feet by 3 feet target. The center globe post covered the whole target. How I was able to basically center it is to make sure there was no white on the target past the left and right side of the post, which at 500 yards is very hard to see with your eye because you have no magnification. So this what makes peep sights not good for long distance. I know some people are going to say, yes, the military sites, people are shooting out to 1,000 yards with this type of rifle, but in reality, this thing is not designed for that range. The gun can shoot 1,000 yards, but you're not really going to have a good accuracy with a peep sight in 1,000 yards. Just my input. I know a lot of people are going to argue with me on that, but I'm just telling you from my experience, this type of weapon is not really designed for those type of ranges. So this is my Swedish girl. Again, commercial action, no charging hump. I didn't do no work on this receiver. It already was tapped. Let's see, where's this model number? Where's the serial number? Yeah, I don't even know where the serial number is on these things. I think you have to take the action out of the stock to get the serial number. But this is a very good weapon, and for what I paid for it, I cannot complain. And then with the Swedish style receivers and the metal that the Swedes use, this is like supposed to be quote the Cadillac of Mausers, 98 large rings. The Swedish metal is supposedly supposed to be one of the best things. Even the Germans were like, pounding the Swedes to give them this type of metal. Again, Mauser 98, Husqvarna.